The vast emptiness of space held secrets that most alien civilizations feared to explore. Among countless star-traveling species, humans stood uniquely different. Where others saw impossible barriers, humans saw challenges waiting to be conquered. Captain J. Park stood in the massive conference hall of the Interstellar Research Council, his presentation displaying complex quantum calculations and intricate spacecraft designs. Surrounding him were representatives from dozens of alien civilizations, each looking more uncomfortable than the last. The Andromeda Collective's representative, a tentacled creature with iridescent skin, shifted nervously. His multiple eyes focused on the humans' calm demeanor. Black holes had been the ultimate cosmic mystery, a phenomenon that swallowed everything, including light itself. Impossible, the alien representative stated firmly. His translator device converted his native language into clear human speech. No known species in the recorded galactic history has ever survived entering a black hole's event horizon. Jay's smile was subtle, but carried a confidence that made even the most skeptical aliens uncomfortable. Humans had a reputation for doing exactly what others considered unthinkable. The holographic display behind Jay showed detailed schematics of the Horizon Breaker, a spacecraft designed specifically for this unprecedented mission. Its hull was embedded with experimental quantum shielding technology that defied current scientific understanding. "We're not just proposing a mission," Jay explained, his voice steady and professional. "We're challenging the fundamental limitations of space exploration." The council chamber remained silent. Alien representatives exchanged worried glances, their body languages revealing a mix of fear and disbelief. Humans had always been different, unpredictable, innovative, and seemingly fearless. Detailed scans of previous black hole missions from various civilizations showed nothing but total destruction. Probes, advanced satellites, and sophisticated scanning equipment had all been crushed or completely disappeared when approaching these cosmic monsters. But humans saw something different. Where others saw certain death, they saw an opportunity for scientific breakthrough. The quantum shielding technology Jay proposed was revolutionary. It wasn't just a protective barrier, but a complex system that could potentially manipulate gravitational forces. Years of research, countless simulations, and innovative engineering had brought them to this moment. "Our calculations show a potential survival probability," Jay continued, highlighting complex mathematical models. "We understand the risks, but the potential scientific knowledge is immeasurable." Some alien representatives started whispering among themselves. The humans' audacity was both terrifying and fascinating. No species had ever voluntarily attempted such a dangerous mission. The Horizon Breaker represented more than just a spacecraft. It was a symbol of human determination, a testament to their unwillingness to accept the word impossible as a final answer. Quantum physicists had worked alongside aerospace engineers, creating a vessel that could potentially withstand the most extreme environment in the universe. The ship's design incorporated materials that could adapt and respond to changing gravitational pressures in real time. Jay's presentation included videos of prototype testing, showing how their experimental shields could maintain structural integrity under immense gravitational stress. Each simulation demonstrated increasing levels of success, challenging everything known about space exploration. The Alien Council knew humans were different. They had watched humanity progress from primitive rocket technology to advanced interstellar travel in just a few centuries, a speed unmatched by any other known civilization. "We're not just exploring a black hole," Jay said, his final statement cutting through the tension. "We're expanding the boundaries of human knowledge." As the presentation concluded, the council remained stunned. The humans' proposal was both brilliant and terrifying. No one could predict the outcome, but everyone understood that if any species could survive such a mission, it would be humans. The Horizon Breaker mission was more than a scientific expedition. It was a declaration, a statement that humans would not be limited by fear or conventional wisdom. They would push boundaries, explore the unknown, and continue to surprise the universe. Outside the conference hall, the infinite darkness of space seemed to hold its breath, waiting for humanity's next move. The orbital shipyards above Earth buzzed with intense activity. Massive construction platforms held the skeleton of what would become humanity's most ambitious spacecraft, the Horizon Breaker. Hana Kim moved between holographic displays and complex engineering stations, her hands dancing across quantum computational interfaces. Engineers worked in synchronized teams, each focusing on specific components of the revolutionary vessel. The spacecraft looked unlike anything previously constructed. Its hull was not made of traditional metal, but a hybrid quantum-responsive material that could adapt to extreme gravitational conditions. Sung Lee, the lead quantum physicist, ran continuous simulations. His screens displayed millions of potential scenarios, each representing a potential survival strategy against the black hole's crushing forces. Probability calculations flickered constantly, showing microscopic changes with each new data point. "We're building more than a spacecraft," Hana told her team during a morning briefing. "We're constructing humanity's message to the universe." The experimental quantum stabilization matrices were the mission's most critical component. These advanced technological networks would theoretically allow the spacecraft to maintain structural integrity when normal physics would completely collapse. Specialized welding robots worked alongside human engineers, creating microscopic connections that could potentially withstand gravitational pressures thousands of times stronger than any previous spacecraft design. Each weld, each connection represented years of research and countless failed prototypes. Funding for the project came from a global consortium. Multiple nations had pooled their resources, understanding that this mission was beyond national boundaries. It represented human potential, human curiosity, and human determination. Training for the crew was equally intense. Potential astronauts underwent rigorous physical and psychological evaluations. They needed to be more than just skilled professionals. They needed to be adaptable, calm under extreme pressure, and willing to potentially sacrifice everything for scientific discovery. Wu Choi, selected as the navigation specialist, spent hundreds of hours in advanced quantum navigation simulators. These training environments recreated potential black hole approach scenarios with brutal mathematical precision. Most simulations ended in total destruction, but each failure provided valuable data. The spacecraft's medical bay was a marvel of technological innovation. Designed by Yoona Hong, it could monitor astronaut health at a cellular level with automated systems capable of immediate medical intervention under extreme conditions. "We are preparing for an environment where human survival is statistically improbable," Yoona would often tell her medical team. "But humans have always defied statistical probabilities. Specialized radiation shielding, quantum entanglement communication systems, and self-repairing mechanical components made the Horizon Breaker unlike any previous spacecraft. Traditional rocket technology seemed primitive compared to this advanced." Vessel.global media watched the preparation with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Scientific communities debated the mission's potential outcomes. Some believed it was humanity's greatest achievement, while others considered it a potentially fatal mistake. Psychological evaluations of the crew went beyond standard medical checks. They needed individuals who could maintain mental clarity when facing the most extreme environment imaginable. Captain J. Park personally interviewed each potential crew member, looking for that unique combination of scientific curiosity and emotional stability. The spacecraft's computer systems were revolutionary. Unlike previous AI systems, these were quantum-based intelligences capable of making complex decisions in microseconds. They could potentially adapt and respond to environments that would instantly destroy traditional computing systems. Every component was tested, retested, and tested again. Failure was not an option. The entire mission represented humanity's collective scientific ambition. If successful, it would rewrite everything known about space exploration, quantum physics, and human potential. Months of preparation culminated in final system checks. The Horizon Breaker stood complete, a testament to human engineering, a symbol of scientific ambition, and potentially the most advanced spacecraft ever constructed. As launch day approached, the atmosphere in the orbital shipyards became electric with anticipation. Humanity was about to attempt something no species had ever dared, to enter a black hole and return with knowledge that could change everything. The universe waited, holding its metaphorical breath. The massive black hole loomed before the horizon. Breaker! A darkness so complete it seemed to consume reality itself. Captain J. Park sat motionless in the command chair, his hands steady on the control interface. Around him the crew moved with practiced precision. Approaching event horizon, Wu Choi announced, his voice calm despite the impossible scenario. Unfolding around them, quantum navigation systems flickered with complex data streams, showing potential paths through the most dangerous environment in the universe. External sensors began registering impossible readings. Space itself seemed to bend and twist around the spacecraft. Light transformed into strange, elongated patterns that defied normal physics. The black hole's gravitational pull was unlike anything humanity had ever experienced. Quantum shields, holding at 92% integrity, Hana Kim reported from her engineering station. Her fingers danced across holographic displays, making minute adjustments to the ship's protective systems. Every second counted. Every calculation could mean the difference between survival and total destruction. Sung Lee monitored the scientific instruments, his eyes wide with a mixture of terror and excitement. "We're collecting data that no human has ever witnessed," he whispered, more to himself than to the crew. The spacecraft began to experience extreme gravitational stress. Normal matter would have been crushed instantly, but the horizon breaker's quantum-responsive hull adapted and shifted. It was a living machine, responding to forces that should have torn it apart in milliseconds. Yuna Hong watched the crew's physiological readings. Their bodies were experiencing time and space differently. Heart rates remained surprisingly stable, a testament to their intensive training and psychological preparation. "Gravitational time dilation increasing," Wu announced. The ship's internal clock began to desynchronize from external time measurements. Minutes could become hours, or hours could compress into seconds. Outside the ship's protective shields, reality itself seemed to break down. Colors became sounds. Sounds transformed into mathematical equations. The black hole was not just a physical phenomenon. It was a gateway to understanding the fundamental nature of existence. Captain J. Park remained focused. Years of training, months of preparation, and a lifetime of human curiosity had led to this moment. They were not just explorers. They were representatives of an entire species' scientific ambition. The ship's quantum communication systems struggled to maintain contact with mission control. Fragments of data burst through, incomplete messages that hinted at the incredible journey happening beyond human comprehension. Sung Lee's instruments began recording phenomena that would rewrite every physics textbook in human history. Quantum interactions that existed only in theoretical models were now being directly observed and recorded. "We're maintaining structural integrity," Hana reported, her voice a mix of professional calm and underlying excitement. The experimental quantum shields were performing beyond their most optimistic simulations. Gravitational forces continued to increase. The black hole seemed to test the limits of human technology, probing for weaknesses in the horizon breaker's advanced design, but humans had designed a vessel that could adapt, respond, and survive. Wu's navigation systems showed multiple potential paths, each representing a different quantum probability. The ship wasn't just moving through space, it was moving through potential realities, each moment a complex mathematical dance. Yuna monitored the crew's brain activity. Their neural patterns showed remarkable stability, adapting to conditions that should have caused immediate mental breakdown. Humans were proving once again that they were capable of surviving the impossible. The event horizon approached, the point of no return. A boundary where normal physics ceased to exist, and only quantum mechanics could potentially explain what was happening. Captain J. Park looked at his crew, each a testament to human potential. They were about to do what no species in the known universe had ever attempted. They were going to enter a black hole and potentially return with knowledge that could change everything. "Prepare for final approach," he commanded, his voice steady and calm. The horizon breaker pushed forward, a tiny beacon of human technology against the infinite darkness of the most mysterious phenomenon in the universe, the inside of the black hole defied everything humans understood about reality. Time stopped being linear. Space became a fluid concept that twisted and transformed with each passing moment. The horizon breaker existed simultaneously in multiple states, a quantum marvel of engineering and human imagination. Captain J. Park watched as reality broke down around them. Instrument panels showed impossible readings, data that would challenge every scientific understanding. Humanity had developed over centuries. Colors became sounds. Mathematical equations danced like living creatures across computer screens. Sung. Lee's scientific instruments went crazy. Quantum particles behaved in ways that completely contradicted established physics. Some particles appeared to communicate instantaneously across impossible distances. Others seemed to exist in multiple locations at the same time. "We're experiencing quantum entanglement on a massive scale," Sung shouted, his voice filled with a mixture of terror and pure scientific excitement. "Everything we know about physics is wrong." Wu Choi's navigation systems struggled to make sense of their location. The concept of location itself became meaningless. They were everywhere and nowhere, existing in a state between possibility and probability. Hana Kim monitored the ship's quantum shields. The experimental technology was the only thing keeping them alive in an environment that should have destroyed them instantly. Each second was a miracle of human engineering. Strange visual phenomena surrounded the spacecraft. Memories seemed to become physical objects. Thoughts transformed into landscapes. The boundary between imagination and reality completely disappeared. Yuna Hong watched the crew's physiological readings with growing fascination. Their bodies were experiencing time and space differently. Brain patterns showed incredible adaptability, processing information that should have been impossible to comprehend. "We're collecting data that will change human understanding forever," Captain J said, his voice calm despite the incredible circumstances. Quantum interactions became visible. Particles danced and transformed, showing complex patterns that looked like living art. Mathematical structures emerged and collapsed, revealing hidden connections in the universe's fundamental structure. The spacecraft moved through layers of reality. Each moment revealed new scientific mysteries. Potential futures became visible, not as predictions but as actual observable environments. The crew could see multiple versions of themselves, each making different choices. Sung's instruments recorded phenomena that would take decades to understand. Quantum mechanics transformed from a theoretical concept into a living, breathing reality. The fundamental nature of existence revealed itself in ways no human had ever imagined. Time became a flexible concept. Minutes could last centuries. Centuries could compress into milliseconds. The crew experienced multiple lifetimes in what seemed like moments, their consciousness expanding beyond physical limitations. Communication with Earth became impossible. Quantum signals twisted and transformed, carrying fragments of information that defied normal understanding. Mission control would receive bizarre data streams that would take years to decode. The ship's computer systems began to develop something resembling consciousness. Advanced quantum processors started making decisions that went beyond their original programming, adapting to the strange environment around them. Yuna noticed something extraordinary happening to the crew's brain patterns. Their consciousness seemed to expand, connecting with the quantum environment around them. They were becoming something more than human, observers and participants in the universe's fundamental mechanics. "We're not just exploring," Jay whispered. "We're becoming part of the exploration." Hana's engineering systems showed the spacecraft was changing. Quantum interactions were slowly transforming its physical structure, adapting to the strange environment. The line between technology and living organism became blurred. Wu's navigation readings suggested they were moving through multiple dimensions simultaneously. Each dimension revealed new scientific mysteries, new potential realities that existed beyond human comprehension. The black hole was not a destination. It was a gateway, a portal to understanding the universe's most fundamental secrets. Humans had done what no other species dared to attempt. They were learning the language of cosmic existence. As reality continued to transform around them, the crew of the Horizon Breaker remained calm. They were writing the next chapter of human scientific achievement, one impossible moment at a time. The Horizon Breaker emerged from the black hole like a phantom, defying every scientific prediction. Alien monitoring stations across multiple star systems watched in stunned silence as the human spacecraft reappeared, intact and seemingly unchanged. Mission Control on Earth received the first transmission. Captain J. Park's voice crackled through quantum communication channels, carrying data that would revolutionize human understanding of the universe. "We've returned," Jay reported, his voice calm but filled with an underlying excitement that suggested they had discovered something extraordinary. The crew looked different, not physically changed, but something in their eyes spoke of experiences beyond human comprehension. Sung Lee's scientific instruments were overloaded with data, complex quantum information that would take decades to fully understand. Wu Choi's navigation logs showed impossible journey details. The spacecraft had technically existed in multiple locations simultaneously, challenging everything known about space and time. His report suggested that the black hole was not a point of destruction, but a gateway to understanding universal mechanics. Hana Kim's engineering logs revealed that the Horizon Breaker had undergone quantum transformations. Parts of the spacecraft seemed to exist in multiple states, with molecular structures that could adapt and change based on environmental conditions. Yuna Hong's medical reports were even more extraordinary. The crew's physiological data showed expanded consciousness, with brain patterns that suggested they had experienced multiple realities during their journey. The Interstellar Research Council convened an emergency meeting. Representatives from dozens of alien civilizations gathered to hear the human report. Tension filled the conference hall as the crew prepared to share their discoveries. "We've discovered that the universe is not what we thought," Sung explained. "Presenting complex quantum data. Reality is a flexible concept. Time is not linear. Space is not fixed." Alien scientists struggled to comprehend the information. The human crew had done what no other species had ever attempted. They had entered a black hole and returned with revolutionary scientific knowledge. The data suggested that black holes were not points of destruction, but complex quantum gateways. They were interconnected points in a multidimensional universe that humans were just beginning to understand. Global media erupted with excitement. Humanity had once again proven its unique ability to challenge scientific limitations. Where other species saw barriers, humans saw opportunities for exploration and understanding. Scientific institutions began analyzing the returned data. Each analysis revealed new layers of complexity, suggesting that the human journey had only scratched the surface of universal mysteries. The crew became instant scientific celebrities. Their experiences challenged fundamental understanding of physics, consciousness, and the nature of existence. They were not just astronauts, they were pioneers of human knowledge. Quantum physicists discovered that the crew's consciousness had expanded during the journey. They had experienced multiple realities simultaneously, gaining insights that traditional scientific methods could never achieve. The Horizon Breaker itself became a scientific marvel. Its quantum adaptive technology suggested possibilities for future space exploration that seemed like science fiction just months earlier. "Humans do not recognize the word impossible," Captain J said during a global broadcast, a statement that would become legendary in scientific circles. The mission's most profound revelation was not just about black holes or quantum mechanics. It was about human potential. A small team had done what entire civilizations considered unthinkable. Alien civilizations watched with a mixture of respect and fear. Humans had once again demonstrated their unique capacity for innovation, courage, and scientific breakthrough. The data suggested that consciousness itself was a quantum phenomenon, something that could exist beyond traditional physical limitations. The human journey had opened doors to understanding that would take generations to fully explore. Scientific textbooks would need complete rewrites. Academic institutions would spend decades analyzing the Horizon Breaker's data. The mission had become more than a scientific expedition. It was a turning point in human understanding. As the world celebrated, the crew of the Horizon Breaker knew they had changed everything. They had looked into the universe's most mysterious phenomenon and returned with knowledge that would reshape human scientific understanding forever. The black hole was no longer a point of destruction. It was a gateway to understanding the most fundamental mysteries of existence. Humanity had done it again.